About 3 months ago, I released a video with my way too early Heisman top 10. Although we're still 2 months away from the college football season beginning, there have actually been a number of changes inside of my top 10. So as we sit here about 6 months away from the Heisman ceremony, here are the 10 players I think are going to be in the running for the prestigious award. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. We'll kick off this list at number 10 with Oklahoma quarterback Dillon Gabriel. He's the new Sooners quarterback after both Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams transferred this offseason. Gabriel spent 3 seasons at UCF, where he was one of the top quarterbacks in the entire country when healthy. Over the last 3 years, he's thrown for over 8,000 yards with 70 passing touchdowns and only 14 interceptions. He's also added 400 yards on the ground with 8 rushing touchdowns. He threw at least 1 touchdown pass in all 26 games he appeared in, at least 2 touchdown passes in 20 games, and at least 4 touchdown passes in 7 games. His passing efficiency rating since the start of the 2019 season is the 7th best in the entire country. His 70 touchdown passes are the 3rd most over the last 3 years, despite missing the final 10 games of the 2021 season. He's likely going to put up fantastic numbers yet again, and I expect Oklahoma to be in the playoff hunt all season. Number 9 is Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson. 2021 was the best season for Arkansas in a decade, and it was largely due to the play of Jefferson. He completed 67% of his passes for 2,700 yards. He threw 21 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions. He also added nearly 700 yards on the ground with 6 rushing touchdowns. Jefferson threw at least 2 touchdown passes in 6 games and threw at least 3 touchdown passes in 4 games. He did lose his number 1 target in Braylon Burks, but I think he'll be a much improved quarterback compared to last season. Arkansas is going to be better in 2022, and I think KJ Jefferson will take his game to the next level. At number 8 is Miami quarterback Tyler Van Dyke, who was quietly one of the best quarterbacks in the nation during the second half of last season. He was named the ACC Rookie of the Year and the ACC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Van Dyke started the final 9 games of the season after taking over for D'Eriq King. The freshman finished the season throwing for 3,000 yards with 25 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He ended the season with 6 consecutive games of at least 300 passing yards and at least 3 touchdown passes, becoming the first Power 5 quarterback to record such a streak in a single season since Joe Burrow of LSU back in his 2019 Heisman campaign. Over his final 6 games of the year, he was on pace for a 12-game season of 4,200 passing yards and 40 passing touchdowns. Given a full season, I think he puts up those numbers, and I think he breaks multiple records for the Hurricanes. There are a number of really good running backs in the country, but in my opinion, I think the best is Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen, who I have at number 7. As a 17-year-old true freshman in 2021, he rushed for 1,300 yards with 12 rushing touchdowns. He averaged just under 7 yards a carry, which was the 2nd best in the conference and the 7th best in the entire nation. Allen rushed for at least 100 yards in 8 of his final 9 games, including a streak of 7 consecutive 100-yard games, the longest streak by a freshman in Wisconsin history. Allen had 9 rushes of 30-plus yards, which was the most by a Big Ten player and tied for the 4th most in the entire country. I don't think Wisconsin's offense is going to be great next season, which is why I think Allen is going to be a Heisman contender. There's a strong possibility that he is majority of the Badgers' offense, and I seriously think he has a chance to top 2,000 rushing yards in 2022. This one may be a little bit surprising, but I have Tennessee quarterback Hayden Hooker at number 6. He wasn't the starting quarterback for the Vols to begin the 2021 season, but he finished as one of the top quarterbacks in the entire country. He racked up over 3,500 yards of total offense, the 4th most in the SEC. He shattered 2 school single-season records in passing efficiency and completion percentage. Hooker threw for just under 3,000 yards with 31 passing touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Of the 72 FBS quarterbacks who attempted at least 300 passes, he was tied for the fewest interceptions among those players. He averaged just under 10 yards per passing attempt, the 2nd most in the conference and the 4th most in the entire nation. Hooker also rushed for over 600 yards with 5 rushing touchdowns. I think the Volunteers could potentially be a dark horse in the SEC this season, and I think Hayden Hooker is going to be lighting up the stat sheet. At number 5, we have wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think there's a strong chance that he could win the Heisman next year, but there's another player on his team who's likely going to be taking votes away from him. We'll get to that player later in this video. In my opinion, he's the best wide receiver in the entire country. He finished 2021 with 95 receptions for 1,600 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. He broke a 20-year-old Big Ten receiving yards record. His 95 receptions were also the 5th most in Big Ten history. Jaxon Smith-Njigba did this at Ohio State while sharing the field with 2 wide receivers who just went inside the top 11 of the NFL draft. Jaxon Smith-Njigba had a Rose Bowl to remember last season as he set a number of college football records. He finished with 347 receiving yards, the most ever in a bowl game in college football history. It was also the most in a single game in Ohio State history and the 2nd most in Big Ten history. It was also the 5th highest total in NCAA Division I history. He also added 15 receptions, which tied an Ohio State record. In addition to that game, he also had a 240-yard receiving game against Nebraska, also on a school record 15 receptions. He had 7 total games in 2021 with at least 100 receiving yards. It's going to be tough to replicate those numbers in 2022, but as he's now the #1 option for CJ Stroud, I think there's a chance that Jaxon Smith-Njigba can have the greatest season of a wide receiver in college football history. Number 4 will be last year's Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young. He'll be in the running all season, but we've seen just how hard and nearly impossible it is to win the Heisman in back-to-back years. In 2021, Young threw for 4,900 yards with 47 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions. If he wants to have a shot at winning another Heisman, you'd have to expect that he needs to top those numbers, or at the very least, have the other competition not be as strong. Like I said, he'll likely be in the conversation all year, but I'm not sure voters are going to want to vote for the same player for the 2nd year in a row unless his season is truly historic. Number 3 on the list will be USC quarterback Caleb Williams. After taking over for Spencer Rattler last season, Williams is one of the top quarterbacks in the entire country. He completed 65% of his passes for 2,000 yards with 21 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He also added 500 yards on the ground with 6 rushing touchdowns. He broke Oklahoma true freshman records in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He was on a full season pace of about 3,000 yards and 30 passing touchdowns. Well, he'll get a full season to be a starter now, and he'll have some of the best weapons of any quarterback in the entire country with USC. Based on the system under Lincoln Riley and having one of the top wide receiver rooms in the entire nation, Caleb Williams can join some other USC quarterback legends who have won the Heisman Trophy. I didn't initially have him in my top 10 the last time, and that was a complete mistake. At number 2, I have Alabama linebacker Will Anderson, and I think there's a strong chance that he can actually win the Heisman Trophy in 2022. Last season, he was selected as the Bronco Nagurski Trophy winner, presented annually to the nation's top defensive player. He was a first-team All-American by essentially every outlet out there. On top of that, he was named the SEC's Defensive Player of the Year by both the AP and the coaches. Anderson led the nation in tackles for loss with 34.5. He racked up 150 total yards of loss. He also finished the season with 17.5 sacks, the most in all of the FBS. He finished the 2021 campaign with 102 total tackles, while adding a team-high 9 quarterback hurries to go along with 3 pass breakups. There's a chance that Will Anderson has an even better season in 2022 than he did in 2021. If that's the case, he'll make a serious run at the Heisman Trophy. My number 1 pick still hasn't changed though, as I have Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud. I'm really high on this Ohio State offense in 2022, and it's largely due to Stroud. He was named the Big Ten's Offensive Player of the Year last year, along with the Quarterback of the Year and Freshman of the Year. He threw for 4,400 yards with 44 passing touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. Stroud finished in the top 3 nationally in passing efficiency rating, touchdown passes, completion percentage, yards per game, and yards per attempt. He set 17 Ohio State school records in 2021, including 13 passing records. Stroud did lose a couple of key weapons in Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, but he'll have arguably the top wide receiver in the nation, plus a plethora of other weapons as well. Well, that's my updated top 10 list for the Heisman Trophy. Was there a player that was ranked too high, or was ranked too low, or a player that was not even on this list? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before you guys leave, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you love college football, then this is definitely the place for you. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.